Afternoon. We're about ready to kick off our presentations for this afternoon. We've got our first one, Longleaf Extracts LLC, a processor. So if you want to come on and make your way up here to the front, we will prepare to hear your presentation. Are all of our our Zoom commission members ready to go? Are most of y'all there? Have got any questions? Can you hear okay? I'm going to assume everything's good to go. Okay, before long, as the Longleaf guys, are you here? Longleaf Extracts, LLC. We were just talking a while ago, we have not been informed of any no-shows, but this may be one. None of you folks are with Longleaf Extracts. What about Enchanted Green? Are y'all ready to go? Yes, sir. I'll tell you what, why don't we go ahead and have, if you don't mind, we'll go ahead and get y'all staged and ready to go, and we'll just move on, and if Longleaf shows up, we'll get them at a later time. So Enchanted Green, so all of our commission members get prepared. We're going to move on to the 1:20 scheduled presenter. But before Enchanted Green LLC begins their presentation, I'll ask Mr. Justin Day to make a few comments pertaining to their application. Justin?
All right, this is applicant number 1648, Enchanted Green LLC. You have their full application. They also submitted a supplemental brief that you have in your materials. You have their applicant summary, and there were no pass-fail items noted on their application.
Thank you, Justin. What's your name?
Mine is Travis Moyer.
Okay, Travis, I'll let you introduce your other folks if they're going to present, or are you going to do it all?
No. Our two owners are here, Mr. Derek Oden, Mr. Perry Mandera.
Okay.
They'll speak shortly, and they'll just kind of lead us off here.
That'll be fine. Okay. Thanks for coming, Travis. We look forward to hearing you. And Ms. Peters, she'll have your allowed time, which is 20 minutes, up here on the shelf.
Okay,
so
great.
Go ahead. The floor is yours. Thank you.
All right. Well, good afternoon. It's very exciting to be here today. As I mentioned, my name's Travis Moyer. I've worked with affiliates of the ownership group here across the country to stand up and operationalize medical cannabis ventures. Very excited to be speaking with you today. As I'm sure you know, Enchanted Green has been twice one of the top scorers, and we hope today that we're able to show you that we continue to be one of the strongest, most experienced applicants today. So, starting off, we submitted hundreds and hundreds of pages of application materials, and I'm not going to pretend 20 minutes is nearly enough time to go over every little aspect of that. But if there's a few things I could really leave you with today or hope that stick with you, it really starts with the strength of our ownership team. Starting with Mr. Oden, he'll speak to you shortly. Local resident, pillar of his community, we're minority owned as well. Mr. Oden is our majority owner here. In addition, he's partnered with an incredibly strong entrepreneur, Mr. Mandera, who will also speak to you shortly. Mr. Mandera has run a number of businesses, including in the medical cannabis arena since 2015, brings a wealth of knowledge and operational experience to the table here. In addition, we're fully funded. We're not looking for outside capital. We have, I believe, $5 million committed to this project. We've shown well in excess of that, and accounts ready to go. I think about 4x is available of that capital commitment today. So, really incredibly strong team here. You'll meet our two owners shortly, and they can tell you a lot more about themselves than I'm going to be able to do justice here. But we believe we're one of the most experienced teams and one of the most reliable, and really look forward to hopefully having the opportunity to be in partnership with the commission and move forward with a processing license here. Oh, I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here, but oh, there we go. Derek, if you want to stand up and introduce yourself first.
Thank you, Travis. Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for allowing us to come here and present to you in person. My name is Derek Oden, like Travis said, a native of Alabama, born and raised here, graduated from high school in Tuscaloosa Hillcrest High School, attended the University of Alabama where I got my bachelor's degree and also played football on the 1992 championship team that won, brought the championship cheer to the state, Roll Tide. Since my playing career, actually I left Alabama and played 3 years in the NFL with the Philadelphia Eagles. And post-career, I've been in the pharmaceutical industry for about 23 years, roughly. In that 23 years, the last 12 years have been spent in biotech, where I have been an advocate for rare disease patients living with rare disease, educating healthcare providers on managing patients with these rare diseases. Got a call from Perry Mandaris, who is a longtime friend of mine and a mentor, and with this idea of bringing medical cannabis to the state of Alabama. Based off of where I've been, my experience dealing with rare diseases and bringing medications to market for patients, it was a no-brainer. It was a perfect fit for my next progression in my professional career. And to work with partner with Perry to bring this medication to patients of Alabama was basically a no-brainer for me. So that's me.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for allowing us to present ourselves and our company to you. My name is Perry Mandera. I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran from 1975 through 1979, currently married for 34 years and have 2 children, 29 and 26-year-old boys. I'm a very successful entrepreneur. I built and have owned and sold multiple different types of industries or businesses in different types of industries all across the United States. I started a logistics company in 1986, and today we do about $300 million a year in sales, and we operate, we now employ over 500 full-time employees. I entered the cannabis space in 2015 in Illinois, and I've expanded our business model into Ohio, New Jersey, and also into Arizona and soon to be New York City. The facility that we're talking about constructing or building is going to be world-class. It'll be second to none. We really believe that. We're only going to employ Alabama-based residents. We're not looking to import or bring anybody else in from anywhere else. There's a lot of good manpower that's available here. We've interviewed and have many people that are interested in coming on board with us. We've got unlimited funding, as Travis mentioned, to see this project through and hopefully to be able to expand. We're eager to get under construction and get things underway. We've done a lot of work in anticipation of being awarded this license. We know we have one last hurdle to accomplish here, and we're ready to go. We're eager to get this thing going. Okay, thank you.
All right. I don't know about you, but I love these guys together. It's a perfect combination of experience here. So just kind of start off with just where are we going to be located, what are we going to be building, kind of giving you hopefully somewhat of a visual picture. I'd even maybe ask you to close your eyes and visualize what I'm going to talk through here. First, our location, we're going to be located about 20 minutes south of Huntsville, right off of the main highway. The location is about 3 acres. It's blank land, but we actually view that as a huge advantage. I'll talk to you shortly about biosecurity and its importance, particularly with immunocompromised patients requiring high quality, highly safe medication available for them. So we view a ground-up build as a huge advantage that allows us to really engage in best practices and not be kind of saddled with existing issues with infrastructure. Additionally, close proximity to Huntsville gives us a large educated workforce that we can utilize, as Mr. Mandera noted. And additionally, from a logistics standpoint, getting product across the state, close proximity to a major highway. In terms of our operational timeline, we've committed to about 180 days. It might sound a little bit fast to do a full ground-up build in 180 days, and candidly, it is fast. That's built on years of experience in actually getting this done and doing it. We've learned how to do things the right way the first time, and we intend to do that here in the state of Alabama. In terms of equipment, different things, we don't have the issues with lead times. If we need to, we have the supplier relationships, we can get it today. Or we have affiliated facilities that we can take equipment from as needed and supplement as we may need to wait. I also want to note, just in terms of timeline here, 180 days, we don't anticipate that cultivators will have cannabis material to actually process before 180 days. So what we're trying to target here is actually being ahead of the cannabis material. And we view that as part of our commitment to the commission and to the program itself, and being available to put out high quality product in advance of the material coming in. So when it's available, we're there, we're ready to go, and ready to get it done. Our facility design, it's not going to be anything special. You think kind of a blank box, right? The plan here is the facility is going to be nondescript, mixing with its community. Think of kind of just a boring manufacturing building, right? It's what's inside where you start to get to the magic. But to get inside takes a little bit of security. So walking up to our facility, first you're going to see a big fence, then you get to our hardened walls, hardened doors. So you think steel core doors, hardened windows, ballistic glass, et cetera. These facilities, and this is often said, but having been in the industry for years, it's actually quite accurate, are as secure, if not more secure, than your average bank. Cameras coating the exterior and the interior. There's nothing in these facilities that happens that isn't recorded 24/7. That's important to us. It's important, I'm sure, to the commission as well. In addition, state-of-the-art alarm system. You're talking duress alarms, hold-up alarms, panic alarms, smoke and fire, all connected to a centralized alarm system. Given the public nature of this meeting, I don't want to go into too many details just for the safety and security of our future employees, but a number of redundancies built into the system as well. Electric backup, right? If power goes out, it's still working. Auto dialer systems to contact authorities immediately. Incredibly safe facilities from a physical security standpoint. But equally as important, and I mentioned this before, is the concept of biosecurity. You're dealing with, as I mentioned, immunocompromised patients. I think nothing is more important here than the patients and the outcomes for those patients. And so that means that it's our responsibility to bring high quality and, most importantly, safe product here to the patients. And that starts really with the design of our building and our processes here to ensure biosecurity. So that starts with, a lot of the sound might sound common sense, but the hygiene of our employees, keeping certain hygiene standards, washing your hands. They'd come in, put on clean suits. You can see an image up there kind of what an employee would look like during their day-to-day work obligations. In addition to personal hygiene, it's also the hygiene of the facility or sanitation procedures. You're cleaning every little thing, every piece of equipment, every nook and cranny in between each process. We hold ourselves to ISO standards for food safety management. It's incredibly high standard, but we view that as our obligation, again, as partnership with the state and the commission, and most importantly for the patients here in the state of Alabama. We don't want to do things to what's good enough. We try to do what's best. In addition, the design elements of the building. I mentioned before, existing buildings have issues that are difficult to work around for what's really required to be a biosecure facility. So wood, for instance, a porous material that can take in moistures, that's a breeding ground for bacteria, molds, and things that have bad outcomes, right? So we can really start here fresh and build something that has non-porous, non-leaching materials that are really beneficial for the safety of the product that we're going to be producing. Actually, before I jump, one important thing too, the air going in and out of our facility. We call it kind of an air envelope, right? So you're utilizing negative air pressure to ensure that any air going into our facility is controlled by us and the air going out is controlled by us. Multiple levels of filtration, fabric filters, carbon filters, UV filters that break down organic compounds in the air, HEPA filters. This is gonna be some of the cleanest air you're gonna breathe that's coming into our facility or coming out of our facility. So it's easy for me to talk about all this, but we thought it might be nice to just watch a little video here, take a break, and see kind of what one of these things look like, because I think it's cool. They're really state-of-the-art R&D facilities, so we'll let this play. you guys don't mind, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit on this because I think we're behind time. So facility has got a lot of really cool equipment, and I'm going to try to, in about 30 seconds here, distill down our process. But what we're going to be utilizing was called supercritical CO2 extraction. Not a lot of people do that, and the reason why is, well, it's expensive. Again, we don't hold ourselves to what's good enough. We go for the best here, and expensive doesn't matter to us. What we want is high quality, extremely safe product. And those are the advantages of utilizing a supercritical CO2 system. Starting with safety, you have employee safety in mind, first of all. You're not using combustible chemicals here, so it's a much safer process for employees to utilize. Additionally, when you're utilizing many other extraction techniques, you can have issues with what are called kind of residual solvents in the product that have to be remediated out. The supercritical CO2 process avoids many of those issues. It creates a much safer, cleaner product to start. Again, a commitment to the safety of the product we're going to be producing here for the patients of Alabama. Additionally, in terms of quality, supercritical CO2 utilizes, very simplified here, but pressure and temperature, right? And you're moving those levers up and down to push CO2 through the cannabis material to extract certain chemical compounds, or in this case, cannabinoids, right? Supercritical CO2, through manipulating that temperature and pressure, right, allows you to customize, right, the cannabinoids that are coming out. Having an ability to customize the end product results in a more efficacious product for the patients here. And again, that's our focus: high quality, safe product. So for us, the investment is well worth making. It's something we think is important, is again part of our commitment here to the state and being a high quality partner here. In terms of what we plan to offer, we intend to produce and offer all products allowed under the program. I think we really differentiate ourselves is, again, our experience. Programs change and evolve over time. We've seen that, we've done that. And as a program may evolve here in the state of Alabama, we don't need to learn how to do the next thing. We don't need to have some trial by error period. We know how to do it, we know how to do it right, and we intend to do it right that first day. So I think really that's where we differentiate ourselves on, product we're gonna be producing or will produce in the future. In addition to that, I just wanna give you guys just a general sense of kind of what is this gonna look like? What is our product gonna look like? And talk a little bit about our packaging here. Starting with our brand image, you can see we have a very subdued brand approach here. This isn't intended to appeal to anyone but patients in the state of Alabama. This is a medical program. It's subdued marketing messages, our approach. Additionally, the packaging we're gonna be utilizing will be packaged utilizing our proprietary aseptic packaging procedures. As you can see, all child-proof, tamper-resistant. All of this, in addition to our labeling procedures, is intended to really get one thing done. It's getting high quality, safe product to the right people at the right time in the right place, right? And this is how we ensure that process. So here's where I'm gonna really be distilling down the most of the hundreds of pages into a single slide, so bear with me here as I go through here. But how we ensure, again, high quality, safe products starts with our SOPs, what we believe to be industry-leading standard operating procedures. And where we differentiate, I think, ourselves here is these aren't something we just bought off the shelf from a consultant, right? These are SOPs that have been iterated on and adapted and used over years and years of actual operations. We know they work because they have worked. We've used them successfully. But SOPs are just a piece of paper, right? The rubber hits the road when you get to training your employees and really ensuring that they understand and can implement those industry-leading SOPs. So no employee will be able to start their employment with us without going through an extensive initial training protocol. That starts with self-directed training, but we don't just stop there. They also do an extensive shadowing procedures, which we call as our watch, do, learn strategy, ensuring that people are learning from highly experienced other employees, and they can ensure that not only do they understand it, but they can do it. And then after that, every employee will be mandated to do a minimum of 20 hours of continuing education annually to ensure not only retention of our existing procedures, but understanding of new developments, changes. This is an industry that is rapidly developing, and we want to make sure our people are aware of the best quality, best practices to really do the right thing here. In addition to that 20 hours, some employees, depending on where they are in the business, may be required to do additional educational nodes as well based on their job responsibilities. So that process, right, of drilling in the same thing, doing it again and again and again, really, that's how we get to our flow state of, continuous perfect production, right? You become an expert in something, doing it again and again and again. We have, as an overall group, done that, but it's what we expect from our employees as well, and this is why we have this process here to get us to, what our flow state, our perfect outcomes, right, of just producing the best product, the safest product possible. But we're a trust but verify group here. We don't just trust ourselves. We do start with internal testing to identify issues well in advance so we can stop problems before they happen. But we'll be utilizing independent third-party testing laboratories, and this is where we get our gold star, A+ on the paper, right? This is what we're working for. Those certificates of analysis, that's our gold star. We're gonna have those on site. We're gonna have those available, ready to view. We're proud of the work we do, and that's, again, that's our gold star. So, kind of a little bit of odds and ends here. I just want to talk about our commitment to just overall sustainability and decreasing impact on the community at large. We view it as not just the right thing to do, but it's a smart business move too, right? Decreasing your energy use, decreasing your water use, really making sure that what is often a very energy-intensive business is decreasing the outcomes, negative outcomes in the community. And finally, just reiterating a few things here. We have $5 million in committed capital. Our pro forma financials show this to be well in excess of what we need to stand up our operations and operate it for 3 years, with an additional $2 million buffer of additional capital. As Mr. Mandera has noted, there's much more capital behind that if necessary, but we're very well funded, ready to roll here. In terms of banking or other back office kind of support items, we don't need to figure out how to do that. We've done it. We know how to do it. We're ready to roll. There's not going to be anything that stops us from operating and starting this business up, other than your willingness to give us one of the licenses here. And additionally, a deep insurance package. Again, this is our commitment to the community and putting our money where our mouth is. So finally, we ask you that you trust your first and your second instincts here, and hopefully give us a third opportunity here to be a partner with you here in the state of Alabama. So,
Thank you, Travis. Any commission members have a question for Travis and his group? Ms. Skelton.
Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Thank you for being here. Could you just clarify for me, in your application, you referenced the address, and you said 120 commenced operation, and today you said 180. But is that an existing facility? Because I believe the application referenced lease or rent, and it sounds like maybe you intend to buy.
Well, I think the decision between leasing and buying, would be something that we would consider. I think generally we prefer to own. It is not an existing facility. It's a 3-acre piece of land. If we said 120 days, I believe we said in a few other places 180, so that might have been a Scribner's error in one portion. But I believe the timeline that we provided in the application, because we provided, I think, similar charts for 180 days.
So is the intent to lease the property or own it if you're constructing on it?
Well, I believe the intent would be then to own it.
Okay. Do you have an option on it, or do you currently own it?
I'd have to speak with our real estate team to get the exact specifics on that one, but.
Okay. Is there any way to do that? Because in order to, to make sure that it's going to be where it needs to be, with the inconsistency, I'm not sure where you're going to be if you don't have an agreement, if you don't have a lease, or if you don't have an.
We have an agreement in place with the existing owner. I think you asked if we wanted to lease or we wanted to own. I said.
Well, it references you'll lease. Mm-hmm. Your application says but you also said you'll be constructing a building.
Yes, we will be.
So you're a ground lease? I'm trying to figure out. You don't typically.
No, I understand. I understand.
A piece of property you don't own, so I'm just trying to.
I think the intent here, right, is to have a piece of property that's under our control. purchasing versus leasing a piece of land. It's a subdivided piece of land, so I believe the intent is to own. And I don't have the contract in front of me, but
But you do have an agreement
yes,
that y'all would be
Yeah.
owning that?
yes.
Okay.
We're not going to invest a couple $1 million and be able to someone move us out in 5 years. Yeah.
Right, okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Any other commission members have a question? Yes, Ms. Taylor.
Hi, thank you for your time. I do have a couple of questions. First, you mentioned the expense of the process that you do and that was not really a big deal to y'all because you feel that it's worth it, which I certainly appreciate that. But the expense of the product will be a big deal to the end user. We know that a lot of the patients that are going to need this, the issues that they have don't discriminate, it's wealthy and poor, and this will not be a product that's covered by insurance. How do you feel that your process is going to affect the cost of the product that your company would produce?
Well, ultimately, it's a free market economy, right? So we have to price to what the prices are in the state here. I think we intend to be cost competitive. We intend to support communities, especially disadvantaged communities that may need pricing breaks. And we don't view that initial expense as something that will affect that. Ultimately, we're a long-term partner here, and we view the way that we build long-term partnerships as a focus on quality and that building our reputation and brand. So if we have to take a margin hit for a period of time, that's our business prerogative. But we fully intend to produce product that's...
In the other states that you operate in, do you tend to be top tier in your pricing?
It goes across the board, right? It depends.
Okay.
It's a difficult question to answer with a simple answer,
Sure.
but it depends on what the market demands and what it needs. But essentially, we can fit in where we need to be. So.
Okay. Just curious. It's free market, but it's free market with a limited number of producers, and you want a product that the patients that need it can certainly afford. My next question is, in the states that you are operating in, do y'all have any compliance or regulatory issues, any loss of licenses, fines, penalties, warning notices?
That is a very easy answer. There's none.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hatchett. Any other questions for Travis or Mr. Oden or Mr. Mandera? Any of our commission members on the Zoom call?
You're
Yes.
more interesting than me, so.
We've got somebody, one of our Zoom commissioners. Which one? Who is it?
This is Dwight Gamble.
Sorry, Dwight, I didn't quite hear you. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Commissioner Gamble.
No problem. You stated in your presentation that you're fully banked. Will you be banking in the state of Alabama or in another state?
I believe we will be banking in the state of Alabama. I don't have the name in front of me, but I believe it's in our application materials where that is. If that's not available to us, we have a number of banking relationships across the state, but our preference is always to do business in the state that we are operating in.
Okay, thank you. And one other question. Do you process for recreational cannabis use in other states?
The states that we operate in have, yes, both medical and recreational cannabis programs, but we have started in all those states in solely medical programs.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gamble. Any other questions?
Hey, Chairman.
Yes, sir, Dr. Blakemore.
I'm not sure. Did y'all go over what products you would roll out, like dosage forms and whatnot, capsules, tinctures?
Yes, sir.
And then to piggyback on what Commissioner Hatchett brought up, typically, what would be your general cost per unit?
You might be asking the wrong guy. I don't know if I have that level of detail and knowledge here. But as I mentioned before, we intend to produce product that's affordable and available to all patients here in the state of Alabama.
Dr. Blakemore, I think as far as the pricing, they're not probably unsure on that. I'm sure they'll be competitive. But he did mention earlier the options that will be available as far as the different forms of medical cannabis that they'll be processing. Is that right, Travis?
Yes, sir.
I think every option that the statute allows, y'all are preparing for.
Like me to go back to the slide?
We saw it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Anybody else have a question? Travis, thank you and your team for coming today. We appreciate your time and your participation today.
Thank you for having us.
So thank you for representing Enchanted Green, LLC. Is Jessica Billingsley, did she make it in yet? Okay, we'll just proceed. If we have the next one is Jasper Development Group. Are they here? Jasper Development Group. Okay, good deal. All right, come on in, guys. Ian Miller and Tyler Robinson, is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll go ahead and let y'all kind of get staged. And before y'all begin the Jasper Development Group presentation, I'll ask Mr. Justin Aday to make a few comments about your application.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is applicant number 1653, Jasper Development Group, Inc. You have their full application and their applicant summary. Also, the materials that they submitted in support of their application. There were no pass-fail items noted on their application.
Thank you, Justin. Once again, this is Jasper Development Incorporated, applying for a processor license. So if you want to watch Ms. Peters, we'll have the time allotment up here of 20 minutes. So try to stay within that time allotment. Thank y'all for doing
materials, sir.
Yes, do whatever you want to do. Yeah, that'll be fine. Not as long as we don't get too high from whatever you're going to pass out. All right. I think y'all have 20 minutes there. So she'll put the time thing on the computer. You'll be able to see it on the shelf up here. So try to stay within the time frame.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The floor is yours.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Tyler Robinson, and this is my business partner, Ian Miller. I'm a lifelong Alabama resident, a multi-generational row crop farmer since I was 12 years old. I'm the founder and CEO of Jasper Development Group, or JDG. On behalf of our entire team, I wish to thank you for previously selecting our company as a high score and the opportunity to stand in front of you today to demonstrate why JDG should be at the top of your list of qualified, responsive, and responsible respondents to the AMCC's RFP for medical cannabis processor. We sincerely appreciate how difficult your jobs have been in this process. This presentation intends to provide a brief but concise overview of who we are and how we intend to serve the medical cannabis patients here in Alabama, hoping that we can make your decision-making process that much easier. We will use illustrative images, diagrams, and the like throughout the presentation to deliver information. If any of this in any way is too dense or ineligible, please let us know at the end of the presentation and ask as many questions as you might have. The reason for Jasper Development Group is a passion to serve. Ingrained in our company philosophy, spread relief in Alabama. Our eagerness to collaborate with the AMCC and commence operation stems from a shared goal, improving the quality of life for patients needing solutions to their challenging medical conditions while promoting safety, compliance, and the overall success of Alabama's medical cannabis program. We aspire to be a trusted companion in our patients' journeys towards wellness. We are ready and eager to contribute to the success of Alabama's medical cannabis program and collaborate with the AMCC to impact the lives of patients in our community positively. We've taken an under-promise, over-deliver downside philosophy for the application in our capital formation documents. Through comprehensive financial modeling and project planning, which Ian will get into this later, we've determined a worst capital requirement of $8 million. Utilizing the AMCC's prescribed method, overlaid on our rather severe downside scenario, JDG estimates a capital requirement of not greater than $9,978,618 for the first 3 years, covering outflows exclusively and assuming there's no inflows. A scenario that responsible, managers would never allow to play out in the real world. With this in mind, we have a secured asset, including $10 million and a 25-year ground lease in Jasper at favorable rates, providing more than 100% coverage. Additional capital is circled and available as needed. We have sought the approval of as many key stakeholders as possible, including our city mayor, city council, public works, zoning committee, the sheriff himself, and local 501c3s, with a particular focus on collaborative efforts with the Arc of Walker County, an organization serving individuals with physical and mental ailments and their families for nearly 50 years. Additionally, we intend to work with stakeholders to hire retired military, law enforcement officers, EMS, and similar candidates to make the re-entry to civilian life as smooth and enjoyable as possible. JDG will also work as part of a robust commitment to public health, safety, and education to drive awareness of the dangers of intoxicated driving. Based on conversations with multiple law enforcement personnel and concerned citizens, we believe this will be a major concern in the minds of the public. After conferring with local stakeholders, we selected the property at 13246 Highway 78 East, Jasper. Our proposed property is owned outright by one of our equity owners. It is secured under a 25-year, $1 per year ground lease pending licensure. JDG is fully in compliance with all applicable city ordinances and has been approved by the City of Jasper to begin operations upon licensure. Light interior construction has been ongoing since January, and the installation of perimeter security fencing was initiated in November 23. Building plans are in place. JDG's contractor is ready to commence property improvements in earnest with a 3-day mobilization notice. Operations are slated to commence on or before the required post-licensure period, optimally close to or before the first harvest batches are complete and ready for processing following a comprehensive pre-commencement inspection and full adherence to AMCC regulations. I will now turn it over to Ian Miller to discuss security, leadership, operations, and more. How do you do this thing? You just flip it.
The right button.
Okay, got you.
Hey, good afternoon. I have to apologize in advance. I'll be speaking a bit quietly and my voice may break a little. I promise this isn't some Malcolm Gladwell technique to lure you into closer focus with me, although you're welcome to lean in a little. The reality is that my little niece had a Thanksgiving performance and I cheered a little bit too vigorously, and I'm now paying for that excitement. Today, I'm CEO of a boutique industry consulting company called Catalyst BC, where we support entrepreneurs and operations around the globe like Tyler and JDG, from small boutique operations to the very largest operators here on planet Earth. Typically, our engagements are helping operators either to design for success or to stand back up after a business failure. Our processing facility, as presented, is meticulously designed in Revit's BIM, Building Information Modeling, which allows us to rapidly transition from line drawings to 3D views to most effectively pre-plan to uphold the highest standards of compliance, safety, quality control, and consistency, and to meet GMP requirements. The facility will eventually operate from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Monday through Friday, and will prioritize functionality, safety, and regulatory compliance while remaining closed to the public. The facility boasts a few specialized areas, including secure entry and access control rooms, formulation and packaging spaces, a DEA-grade vault, separate laboratories for ethanol and solventless extraction trains, and designated break areas for staff. It's worth highlighting a few points here on the slide. First, our security analysis and plan are based on industry best practices gleaned from literal decades of bumps and bruises in pursuing operational excellence. For example, we've exceeded base security requirements and included DEA Schedule I certified vault and doors. Next, we've performed a camera mapping exercise and simulated camera views using the 3D capabilities that are provided in BIM to help us proactively meet your requirements. We've even gone so far as to order photometric plots of the exterior lighting systems to ensure that nighttime security for staff and the public is just right. Our security plan is meticulously crafted and professionally executed framework, recognizing and addressing the high-profile nature of the medical cannabis industry, with public safety as priority number one. Our plan's strategies span 24-hour alarm systems, audible alerts, panic buttons, and seamless integration with a dedicated monitoring facility. We'll conduct daily inspections to address malfunctions, maintain backup equipment, and utilize intelligent investigative tools. Emphasizing perimeter security, we employ conspicuous signage, an 8-foot chain link security fence, and we adhere to crime prevention through environmental design principles. Our physical security measures include automatic locking mechanisms, reinforced exterior walls, and the conspicuous deliberate absence of exterior windows in order to mitigate soft vulnerabilities. Our security plan features robust theft, diversion, and loss reporting mechanism with immediate management escalation and investigation for inventory consistencies. JDG will use comprehensive background checks for prospective employees, color-coded access badges, and a visitor management system with assigned hosts. Moving on to the team. Tyler, our CEO, is a multi-generational Alabama farmer who works in the medical industry today, helping folks to regain their normal lives through orthopedics. Tyler's passion is the patients statewide who stand to fundamentally benefit from access to safe, compliant, high-quality, consistent, and efficacious medical cannabis products. For the success of this vision, we assembled an experienced team curated specifically for medical cannabis processing. Extensive data on JDG's proposed leadership team is provided throughout our application. The abbreviated version is that our team is made up of a combination of local and out-of-state entrepreneurs, business leaders, and true subject matter experts. Our Director of Processing is Dr. Josh Hartzell. Dr. Hartzell holds a PhD in medicinal organic chemistry with expert-level experience in cannabis extraction, processing, and medical goods manufacturing. Josh's experience includes a position as Director of Research and Development for Privateer Holdings, where he designed the first legal large-scale cannabis extraction facilities in both of New York and Kentucky. Josh's experience extends to formulating, processing, and manufacturing products that align precisely with the profile of the AMCC's allowed medical cannabis products, including a deep experience with CGAP and CGMP. Next, our Chief Operating Officer, Dr. Matthew Hoffman. Dr. Hoffman is a seasoned professional in the cannabis industry, holding a PhD in molecular biology, bringing a unique blend of scientific expertise and operational acumen to the team. With a background in biotech and FDA regulatory experience, Dr. Hoffman is a key figure in our leadership team. Next, the powerhouse behind Jasper Development Group's success, the Operation Advisory Team, or OAT. The OAT is not just a team, it's a force with a remarkable track record. 5 individuals with over 50 years combined cannabis industry operational experience, spanning all facets of the business: cultivation, manufacturing, retail, transport. The OAT boasts a 100% compliance record across literal thousands of cultivation and processing batches in multiple states, a testament to their experience and commitment. JDG's Director of Security is Sam Raish. Sam is not just a security expert, he's a combat veteran. He has FBI training. He brings a unique set of skills and experiences to the team. His extensive background in the commercial cannabis industry is marked by his pivotal role in managing security operations for one of the largest cultivators in the United States. Again, these are just a few of the amazing people we've assembled to lead JDG, pass on invaluable training and career skills to our workers, and lead with professional rigor here in Alabama. With a focus on providing local jobs and opportunities, we intend to recruit, hire, train, and empower local residents whenever possible. Our internal staff roles, responsibilities, and lines of report chart that you see here are pretty straightforward and are provided and formatted on a template that the team has used successfully in multiple similar ventures with great success. Roles in the 5-year hiring plan include, but are not limited to, accounting clerks, laboratory techs, both for ethanol and solventless extraction trains, extraction prep and inventory control clerks, formulation and packaging techs, shipping, receiving, and inventory control techs, security officers, office assistants, including sales, admin, and accounting, and regional salespersons. What you don't see here principally is the team's commitment to diversity and excellence. Our hiring plan. JDG's commitment to diversity and excellence in hiring is underpinned by a 5-year strategic hiring plan that leverages each of our leaders' experience. The plan aims to identify and retain best-in-class candidates with proven track records, drawing from diverse backgrounds. The recruitment process emphasizes comprehensive training and mentorship from experienced professionals within the organization. Continuous review, updates, and refinements will ensure the plan remains effective in identifying, retaining, and developing high-caliber leaders and professional staff. JDG will offer rewarding benefits, including health, dental, and vision, as well as bonus pools and incentives for saving. JDG's primary entity structure comprises in a C corporation, the OpCo, organized in Nevada, registered in Nevada, which is wholly owned by a limited liability company, the TopCo, organized in Nevada and registered in Alabama. Nevada was chosen for its combination of strong business law and total transparency of the capitalization table down to the UBO level. The formation documents for both entities were included in our initial application. JDG commits to adherence to corporate conventions, emphasizing transparency in communication, reporting, and audit rights for regulatory, corporate, tax, insurance, and legal compliance. Alongside our extremely sophisticated patient and market meta-analysis and financial modeling, JDG has also employed sophisticated scheduling and project management tools to assist us in overall compliance, cost management, and business and market plans and strategies. What you see here on the screen is a CPM or critical path method Gantt chart. This high accuracy scheduling technique is typically used on complex construction and industrial projects. We use this tool to understand how quickly we should move to meet the AMCC's requirements and also be as financially frugal as possible at the same time. We believe that JDG's ability to produce products quickly is not entirely mediated by how quickly JDG can construct and inspect its processing facility, but rather by how quickly the cultivation licenses are built and inspected and allowed to harvest and test. As you can see, this diagram is highly detailed. Candidly, it's almost impossible to read at this scale, so we've included some general helper markers. This would not have translated well in our application materials, but this is an excellent opportunity to demonstrate the level of sophistication and detail that we've utilized in our business planning. This version includes timelines that we've projected for cultivation, processing, dispensing, and integrated licenses, as well as planned scale-ups for each type, so that we can form opinions on where and when JDG fits in the overall market evolution. In the next diagram, we can see additional nuance in the JDG facility-specific planning steps, allowing adequate time for all necessary steps to occur and delivering first products to market in 182 days or less. I'm happy to get into any specifics in the Q&A portion if you like. Here is a summarized version of the steps we plan to take to ensure success, compliance, and optimal results for all stakeholders. Most importantly, our patients. With all of our business and market application, these are distilled down to critical points. It's difficult to address team development, culture building, and commitment to continuous improvement, aka Kaizen, in this format, but these will be priorities from day one and form the backbone of all plans and strategies at JDG. Operations plan. The operations plan is at the core of JDG's operations, production, and manufacturing processes, representing the culmination of decades of industry experience and commitment to care and efficacy. Every step of our manufacturing process is designed to meet the highest standards, ensuring our products are reliable and consistently pure, free of contaminants, and meet intended levels of potency. Our formulations are patient-centric, allowing for uniform and consistent doses that patients can conveniently, quickly, and safely titrate based on physician's guidance. In our initial product plan, you'll find a broad product suite for patient convenience, including gelatinous cubes, fast-acting water-soluble tablets and soft gels, tinctures, salves, body oils, and even a metered dose inhaler. This comprehensive range of offerings caters to various patient needs, ensuring multiple options to address Alabama's broad qualifying conditions. Our extraction protocols are a testament to our commitment to patients. We employ a combination of solventless and cryoethanol-based methods, followed by post-processing, providing patients with options that are both gentle and proven. The solventless extraction method not only extracts therapeutic cannabinoids and terpenes, but also caters to those committed to complete alcohol sobriety in their recovery process. We are not just producing cannabis-infused products. We are crafting solutions that prioritize patients' needs. JDG has executed initial letters of interest with prospective cultivator CRC of Alabama, prospective dispensary RJK Holdings, statewide property holdings, CCS of Alabama, and with prospective state testing laboratory, Certus Labs. We hope to have more certainty around our business peers in the coming weeks in order to further establish ties in this young industry. Additionally, we are in discussions with Bevel State Community College to set up internships and other programs that support R&D, clinical studies, and the advancement of cannabis-based therapies. This slide mainly reads for itself, but the subtext here is that JDG is committed to being operational ASAP and has continued working behind the scenes over the past few months to that end. JDG's desired DBA name, Homestead Health, evokes our approach to the market and our patient-centric approach. I note that this DBA and the logo type are draft. They remain entirely subject to the approval of the AMCC, but we feel it's important to demonstrate our continuing commitment and efforts. The proposed logo uses a tapestry device to evoke JDG's desire to weave its intentions and operations into the rich fabric of Alabama culture. Moving to proposed marketing and advertising, we believe that embracing patients with education is key to building confidence, goodwill, and a robust foundation for the emerging market in Alabama. JDG's marketing and advertising plan is integral to the commitment to empowering wellness and enriching lives in the medical cannabis sector. Our plan encompasses a diverse range of allowable communication channels, embracing both in-person and virtual interactions. Educational initiatives will take center stage, with non-commercial content to foster awareness, understanding, and dialogue about medical cannabis. Our commitment to education extends to regular community education sessions, providing a platform for discussing topics such as substance abuse risks, community support, and safe storage practices. If we may, we'll make a very brief set of closing statements as long as time allows. There are reasons we're all here. Those reasons aren't so much to talk about cannabis licenses or why JDG is an exceptional choice for an AMCC privilege license, although those are really important topics. The reasons also don't include profit potential so much. In fact, we don't believe our proposed business will be profitable for multiple years after licensure, if you grant us that privilege, of course. And that's not because of inexperience, lack of ability to perform, or anything like that. It's because we've done this before, multiple times, at a high level of compliance and a high level of performance, and because we're focused on the patients first. We trust the economics will follow. My personal reason for being here is that about a decade ago, medical cannabis was instrumental in saving my father from 30 years of otherwise inescapable opiate addiction and the curse of chronic pain. Since then, I've dedicated my life to providing patients in need with cannabis-based medicines that are high in safety, consistency, quality, and efficacy, because the one thing I'm here for is positive patient outcomes, more time with grandkids, more happy meals. Perhaps you share a similar reason or know someone who does. Thank you.
Thank both of you for being here today. Do any of our commission members have a question or comment for the Jasper Development Group? Yes, Ms. Skelton.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. We've had several presenters today that wanted to change the amount of time in which they could become operational. And the applications are a year old, so we obviously recognize that. And on yours, you had stated that the days to commence operation would be 270. I just wanted to give you the opportunity, has that number changed? Could you do that any quicker than 270 days, do you think?
Yes, ma'am. So we can be operational and producing products in about 90 days or less. Really, our operations are contingent on how rapidly biomass supply is made available to us. And because we're industry sort of seasoned experts, we know that it's going to take a little bit of time to go from essentially seed to transfer. So really, our schedule anticipates that into the rolling out of our schedule. But essentially, our plans are final. The building is standing, the floor plate is there, electrical is there, HVAC is there. Like I said, we could be ready in less than 90 days if there were to be supply available in full compliance.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Have you had any regulatory issues in any of the other states that you are in? Any loss of licenses, fines, penalties?
No, ma'am, none whatsoever. In fact, my firm is sort of sought after in the industry for people who have had infractions, and we actually do forensic metric auditing in order to help them to sort of unpack those things and hopefully lessen the severity of what's happened. But the answer is no, 0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hatchett. Anyone else? Do any of our Zoom commissioners have a question? If not, we thank you for being here today and giving us your time and presentation.
Thank you so
so
much.
much.
It's been our honor. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank y'all so much.
Before I move to the next one, I'm going to check again with Longleaf Extracts as Jessica Billingsley made it here today. If not, are guaranteed investments available? Okay. Ayman Haswa? Ayman, okay. Y'all can go ahead, and I know we're kind of 10 minutes earlier, but if y'all are ready to make your presentation, we'll go ahead and begin. So as Guaranteed Investments of Alabama LLC are preparing for their presentations, and Mr. Justin Aday will give a couple of comments about their application.
All right, this is applicant number 1655, Guaranteed Investments, AL LLC. You have their full application, their applicant summary. They submitted a brief in support of their application, and you have that in your materials, and there were no pass-fail items noted in their application.
Thank you, Justin. I think y'all have a 20-minute presentation, so you'll look at the clock up here, and it'll be right on the shelf when she turns it around, but the floor is yours. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you, commissioners and others, for the opportunity to present here to you. My name is Ayman Haswa, and I'm here presenting Guaranteed Investments Alabama. Guaranteed Investments Alabama is a proposed medical cannabis processing company to be located in Adamsville, Alabama. First, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself and two other members of GIA team and the vision and value we know we can bring to the Alabama medical cannabis industry. Then I'll give you a very high-level look at some important aspects of our business and operational plans, and some aspects about the processing facility we're proposing. By the end of the presentation, I hope you'll see and trust the Guaranteed Investments Alabama to operate a best-in-class processing facility. As I said, my name is Ayman Haswa, and I am acting CEO of Guaranteed Investments Alabama. I have a long history of owning and operating businesses in the medical and adult use cannabis industry. I own 44 acres in Oregon for a hemp and CBD cultivating and manufacturing and processing. I own 180 acres in Northern California. I own cultivations through downtown Los Angeles, Salinas, Watsonville, and San Luis. That's my West Coast assets. In the Midwest, I own in Illinois a fully vertical cannabis retail license, manufacturing license, and cultivation license. In Ohio, I have a medical cannabis dispensary that I own and operate. In New Jersey, I have full vertical licenses as well. And my most recent application was here in Alabama for a processor license. I got hands-on experience in the cannabis field in California, and I studied the cannabis industry for well over 2 decades. I also spent the past 2 decades owning and running other businesses, including a chain of liquor stores in Chicago, which is also a very highly regulated industry. Next, I'd like to tell you about Mohammed Jabber. Mohammed Jabber is the majority owner of GIA. He has called Alabama home for nearly 20 years, ever since he moved here in Birmingham to open his first restaurant in 1994. Over the years, he continued to open and operate several restaurants in the Birmingham metropolitan area. As a seasoned restaurant entrepreneur, Mr. Jabber's entrepreneurial skills have been repeatedly put to the test and has proven to be the best of kind and a creative problem solver who can succeed in a very competitive hospitable industry. Skills I'm positive will transfer to the world of medical cannabis as COO, which is Chief Operating Officer. Mohammed will run the day-to-day operations of our medical processing facility. I have known Mohammed for decades, and we have always wanted to launch our own business together. We see this as an opportunity to join forces on a business that capitalizes on what each of us do best. all while benefiting the state and residents of Alabama. Next, I'd like to tell you about Robert Michaelski. Robert will be Guaranteed Investments Alabama Master Processor. He has spent over 30 years in the manufacturing supply chain sector as a process improvement expert. Plant manager and director of manufacturing currently, Robert serves as CEO of REMC International, helping clients improve production and introduce new processes using research and development. He's a member of 4 global advisory boards focusing on manufacturing operations. As vice president of operations for Lindt and Sprungel, he managed the cultural and operational changes that led to major growth in that company, from $200 million in revenue in 2010 to $600 million in revenue in 2016, and he has spent a great deal of time in the cannabis processing and infusion arena. I could sing Robert's praises for hours, but in short, he's an expert and will hit the ground running here in Alabama. At its core, GIA's mission is to provide Alabama patients caregivers and a safe and effective medical cannabis products. GIA will operate a compliant, secure, and sanitary processing facility equipped to process top-quality medical cannabis products. We commit to hiring diverse, highly qualified local staff. We will conduct thoughtful outreach to patients, caregivers, prescribing physicians, and other industry stakeholders. We will prioritize minimizing our environmental impact, and we will fully comply with all state and local laws and regulations. Short-term goals in 1 year: become cash flow positive with 1 year of operation. In 3 years, offer an expanded line of approved products featuring medical cannabis strains that offer new cannabinoid profiles, allowing us to better serve patients. Our signature feedback program will provide us with evaluations from our dispensary partners and end user patients. By year 4, our goal is that at least 75% of our employee team will be comprised of people who have lived in Alabama for over 5 years. Particularly important to me is our commitment to create a community training program for local residents who want to enter the industry. That's how I got my start in the cannabis, and I want to pay it forward by allowing people to learn about cannabis the way I did. Our long-term goals are to continue to build our local supply chain, focusing on local companies for procurement and create sustainable business relationships powered by innovation and collaboration. We'll offer formal mentorship, professional development programs, and affinity group to our staff. GIA will become an active community member and an industry leader in Alabama. GIA has developed a pro forma with detailed projections of anticipated revenues and expenses for the first 3 years of operations. These projections are based on the team's real experience in standing up medical cannabis businesses in other states. Our model projects 3 years of budgeting expenses will require approximately $3 million in initial contribution for build-out costs and other startup expenses like purchasing processing equipment and security systems. The initial capital will provide GIA with an operating runway to solvency. I personally have committed over $5 million through a combination of cash, investment accounts, and credit lines. GIA expects to be running a positive cash flow within a year of opening, generating enough cash to address any unexpected setbacks and to take advantage of unexpected opportunities. In other words, you never know what could happen, so we have built in a healthy cushion. Guaranteed Investments Alabama processing facility will be located at 1944 Forestdale Boulevard in Adamsville. GIA has a letter of intent to lease the space from the property owner, Action Properties LLC. Per our agreement, GIA will purchase the property within the second year of operations. It is a 20,000 square foot building with the space to accommodate all the systems that a compliant medical cannabis processor in Alabama will need. The floor plan is designed to comply with all state and local fire and building codes for this kind of facility. The floor plan is designed company employees will occupy the facility from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays through Friday, and from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturdays, and on Sundays we will be closed. We have a detailed production plan divided into 2 phases. Phase 1, during the first 6 months, we will establish supply chain relationships, stand up initial quality management systems, contract with vendors, obtain appropriate insurance, hire and train employees, engage the community, and obtain materials and supplies. Phase 2 will be the next 30 to 90 days. During that time, we will refine production, assess market conditions, stand up the initial enterprise resource planning system, ERP. GIA affiliate companies have used this operation structure in other medical cannabis businesses and have found it to be a reliable model. GIA will use the supercritical CO2 extraction method to process cannabinoids and cannabis oils into medical cannabis products. This method is common in several industries, including food and beverage, and it's safe. Has a low environmental impact since it's non-flammable and the solvent evaporates at room temperature. This extraction method produces a safe, clean, and pure product. I won't go into great detail, but overall, the method works by putting ground plant material, which is also better known as biomass, into an extraction container. Carbon dioxide is heated and pressurized, and then a pump forces that supercritical CO2 into the extraction container where it breaks the plant's trichomes, dissolving part of the plant material. The material goes into another vessel where temperature, pressure, and flow rate changes cause certain modules to bond to the carbon dioxide, allowing those molecules to be separated from the plant. That's the extraction process. This method has other benefits too. The carbon dioxide can be recycled, and since the plant isn't exposed to really high temperatures, it doesn't degrade like it does when using other methods of extraction. Our extraction system will be automated and integrated with our inventory management system, which records full data on each batch being processed. Our products will have varying percentages of THC and CBD content. I know people with Crohn's disease and other inflammatory disease illnesses, and they've found CBD to be particularly helpful and without the psychotropic effects. I've heard similar comments from people who suffer from epilepsy. GIA will manufacture the full range of authorized products using a full range of feedstock strains, including a variety of sativas, indicas, and hybrids. If I had more time, I'd love to talk to you about our plans to conserve water, protect air quality for our employees and neighbors, save energy, reduce waste, and minimize light pollution. But I want to make sure we have time to talk about quality control and security. You can read all about our environmental plans in our written application. Quality control has a robust set of standard operating procedures to assure consistency, safety, potency, and lifespan of every batch of our extraction products. Our production will use raw materials in the order they come to us, so feedstock gets used before it can degrade. Other ingredients will be inspected for tampering or irregularities before they're approved for us. Testing products will be sampled and will undergo comprehensive testing by a state testing laboratory to determine the active cannabinoid content and assure purity. Stress tests will show us how the quality of our products vary with time when subjected to a range of environmental factors like heat and moisture. Stability testing will be conducted on each product over time to determine the appropriate expiration date. We'll start out with a 6-month expiration date on all our products. Typically in other states, it's usually 12 months. We intend on doing 6 months. And we'll arrange for additional testing to ensure that the cannabis we use is medical grade and contains no active ingredients other than cannabis. I want to call out 2 components of quality control that are vital: packaging and labeling, and employee training. Accurate labels require accurate measurements, so we'll use pharmaceutical grade scales used in a limited access, climate controlled area designed to make sterilization easy and efficient and to prevent contamination. Training is the final and perhaps the most important aspect of our quality control procedures. Staff will be trained to follow our SOPs to the letter. Mohammed and I, along with GIA's management and salaried and hourly employees, everyone will complete all the required foundational training and continue education. As an added step for quality control, I learned recently about a machine that capsules can run on a conveyor belt, and it's known as a laser quality control machine, where the laser determines if there's any imperfections on the capsule or tincture, if you will, and then it would then disregard that particular capsule off of the conveyor belt, rather than sending it to packaging. We will use customized software systems and applications designed to address specific business and compliance needs, which will be adapted as needed to integrate with the statewide seed-to-sale tracking system. In addition to inventory management, quality management, and ERP systems, we'll use QuickBooks for finance and ZenFits for HR functions. Our security plan is based on 4 priorities: protecting people's lives and safety, preventing unauthorized access to the facility, creating a professional, safe, and mentored workplace, ensuring a GIA anti-theft or division of our inventory, both raw materials and the products we manufacture. I'll run through a few of the main components of the security and surveillance systems that we will have in place. I know I'm out of time here. I don't know if I should keep continuing. I still have a few more slides.
I tell you what, I think your time would be better taking questions.
Yeah, please.
If that's okay. Yeah, well, all of our members, they have access to that PowerPoint.
Wonderful.
So they have the slides. They have the slides, access to all that. So we're not missing anything on that end. But I think there are probably some questions to be posed.
Please.
Any of you have one, Ms. Skelton?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hi, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I just want to give you the opportunity to. It's on. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
There you go.
I'm sorry. I'm going to give you the opportunity to address the days to commence operation. Again, I mentioned earlier we've had several applicants that wanted to update that number, and you had referenced 180 days, and I know that you gave a really good explanation about the facility and questions that I normally would have to ask you've already addressed. But on that 180 days, do you stand by that number? Is there, do you feel like you could do that any quicker? And what all would be involved with that 180 days if that is still the number?
Yeah, so simple. It would not require 180 days to complete and get a processing facility operational. A processing facility, unlike a cultivation facility, cultivations require a lot more detailed construction on internal build-out as opposed to processing. Processing is more mechanisms and machines and machinery that can be acquired in less than the 90 days. The facility already has its brick and mortar building. It has its electrical, plumbing, water, heat. Everything's already in place. HVAC. It would just be simply building 2 separating rooms and installing security cameras. And the machinery could also be here in less than 6 weeks. Even the machine for the quality control machine with the laser identifying conveyor belt also can be here within 6 weeks. So I don't see a problem with having this facility up and running within 90 days if need be. But as I heard everyone else testify earlier, the problem wouldn't be the processor, it would be the cultivators, right? If we don't have the biomass to process into extraction, then it'd almost be pointless to rush into build out. But can this project be built and completed in 90 days? Absolutely.
Thank you, Ms. Skelton. Anyone else have a question? Ms. Hatchett.
I'll ask my standard regulatory question. In the other states that you operate in, do you produce both recreational and medical cannabis products?
I do.
Okay, and any sort of compliance type issues in any of those states that you've run into, whether it's been a pull of a license or fines, penalties, anything like that?
Never had any fines, penalties in cannabis, in recreational or medical in any state, or even for that matter, in alcohol too, because I have a chain of liquor stores. I never had any compliance issues in that field either.
Okay, and another question is, what is the relationship with your company or you or any of your associates with Guaranteed Dispensary Company?
So Guaranteed Dispensary, the one that
Sawson.
Sawson is my sister.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's my sister, and she decided to submit an application on a retail in the state of Alabama, and I chose to do manufacturing and processing,
Okay.
which is my area of expertise.
Absolutely. Thank you for that clarification.
Yes, absolutely.
So the building I get is pretty fast, but it's the employee component of it that's the biggest challenge, I would think. How do you plan to address that?
You're very smart. That is exactly correct. So the training of the employees would consume the majority of the time, not the construction and acquiring the machinery needed to get the proposed facility up and running. Training employees does take time, especially with finding the adequate employees, fingerprinting, and then verifying the fingerprints with the AMCC here as well. Training the employees in other states like Ohio, that took me in itself approximately 2 months to find an adequate staff, train them, fingerprint them, and then get them approved both internally and then through the state, which is a whole nother process. About 2 months for retail. Manufacturing can be done within the 90 days as well. Processing can be done within 90 days, fully staffing and training, but it would require a lot of work on our part and for us to be here. Trained individuals in the space to train other individuals about the space. So what I'd like to see or do is find a handful, 1 or 2 possible local residents that have experience in the cannabis space, so that it'll be less training than someone that would be brand new to the industry.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Jensen, for the question. Any other questions? Any of our commissioners on the Zoom call have a question?
Hey, I'm just curious with his background and so many different industries in cannabis. Could he speak on the gross profit margins with processors versus maybe cultivators and dispensaries?
That's Dr. Sam Blakemore on Zoom call asking that question.
Sam Blakemore, thank you for the question. I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear it.
Ask your question again, Sam, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it was relating to gross profit margin. I know you went over the financials and you discussed being a business person, and I just wanted to know what you foresaw those gross profit margins being in processors versus maybe cultivation and dispensaries.
So retail, for example, in the state of Ohio, in my retail cannabis, medical cannabis dispensary, it's quite simple, right? You buy a product from one of the cultivators or manufacturers in the state, and whatever they charge you, you usually charge double, right? And then you offer sale prices or special discounts for veterans or whatever particular sale you want to run on that day or week or month or holiday. So it's about 100% markup for retailers. On the cultivation aspect of things, there are also multiple levels of markups that you can have depending on your automations, right? If you're doing a lot of the work by hand, which is a tedious process, or if you'd spend the upfront expenses and automate the majority of your systems, you'll end up with more profit long run. And better product for the consumer that you'll be able to even give better prices than somebody that doesn't spend a lot of the money up front. Similar to the processing facility here in Alabama, I intend on automating my systems. I'm all about technology, all about the newest tech. Automating systems allow for a processor or manufacturer or cultivator to give even greater discounts to the consumer or the patients.
Thank you, Eamon. Anyone else have a question before we move on?
I want to thank you again for having me.
Well, thank you so much for bringing a presentation from Guaranteed Investments of Alabama. Thank you. Thank you for your time today. Since we're closer to time, I'm not going to try to skirt in Jessica Billingsley if she's not even here yet. I don't know if she arrived yet or not. Don't see her. So we'll move on to the next one, which will be Green Acres Organic Farms Incorporated. Are you available? As y'all are making your way to the podium, I'll ask Mr. Justin Ade to make a couple of comments pertaining to your application to our commissioners. Justin.
All right, this is applicant number 1681, Green Acres Organic Farms, Inc. You have their full application and the applicant summary. There were no pass-fail notations in their application.
Thank you, Justin. Are you Carmelo?
I am Carmelo, yes.
All right, I'll give you the floor, and if you've got other people to introduce, you can do so at your
I have
pleasure.
a quick question before we get started.
Yes, sir.
I have a video presentation. I have an intro, but do I just hit play on this? And
If you're ready for the video, go ahead and click play.
I'm gonna have a little intro, but
You're going to introduce the video first?
Yep.
Okay, so when you get ready to, if it's not working, we'll
I'll
get
give
it
you a
going
signal
for
and
you.
say, hey, start that video.
But you watch the time allotment, and Ms.
sir.
Peters will have it up here on the shelf, and you'll have a 20-minute time frame as you had requested. So the floor is yours. Thank you for coming today.
All right, my name is Carmelo Parsaliti. I'm the CEO and founder of Green Acres Organic Farms. I wanted to put this video together to tell more about my company and address some of the discrepancies in scoring on the Green Acres application, improve our unwavering commitment to Alabamians. I started Green Acres in 2019 with the help of my wife. We actually sold our first home to finance the startup. After 4 years in business, we've successfully created a fully operational extraction lab and have created multiple products containing full spectrum isolate, distillate, most major and minor cannabinoids, and we're creating that from farm to pharmacy. A little history about myself. I'm a third-generation founderman. I have 15 years manufacturing experience and 4 years experience in manufacturing cannabis-derived products for Green Acres. My 15 years experience were spent in a gray iron foundry, Imperial Casting. My grandfather, Carmelo I, started that company in 1970. It's still in operation today in North Alabama. I'm no stranger to the sacrifices it takes to create something from nothing. I also wanted to touch base on our cancer and Parkinson's program. We have already given over $17,000 this year in Green Acres products to people suffering from Parkinson's and various forms of cancer. As well, we received over 30 comments in our October public commenting period, proving our unwavering commitment to Alabamians. We've created one of the most affordable full-spectrum CBD tinctures on the market in the U.S., and we want to do the same on the medical side. So if we can start the video, please. Since our establishment in 2019, Green Acres Organic Farms has been dedicated to serving the people of Alabama with the utmost care and commitment. Our dedication to delivering safe and effective hemp products has led us to this pivotal juncture where we believe that providing medical cannabis is the next logical step in our mission to support the well-being of Alabamians. We have well-defined practices in place that consistently yield safe and reproducible results. We have a demonstrated track record in the field, offering fully tested CBD products, encompassing a wide range of major and minor cannabinoids. The positive impact of safe and effective cannabis products on the lives of our fellow Alabamians speaks volumes, and our credentials are a testament to this fact. We also have received referrals from local medical professionals who have directed their patients to seek assistance with their health concerns through our products. While it's important to clarify that we do not make health claims or assert the ability to treat or cure any disease, the positive feedback from our customers is both noteworthy and compelling. Allow us to outline the strong reasons that makes Green Acres a top candidate for a medical cannabis processing license. We have played a pivotal role in facilitating the transition of cannabis hemp crops from farm to pharmacy, underlying our dedication to Alabamians and Alabama. Our current operational hemp facility boasts several noteworthy features, including we're Alabama's first closed-loop hydrocarbon butane extractor. We have a falling film ethanol extractor, short path distillation units, 2 white film distillation units, a soft gel encapsulation machine capable of producing up to 80,000 soft gels per shift, a fully equipped kitchen capable of producing 20,000 gelatinous cubes and lozenges daily, current bottling capabilities of up to 10,000 bottles per day. Our current hemp processing facility ensures the consistent production of high-quality hemp-derived products. We have strategically invested in industry-leading extraction and processing equipment, empowering us to create a diverse array of hemp-derived products while upholding the utmost standards of purity and consistency. In addition, we are well prepared, as our application shows, with the necessary financial support and architectural plans to expand our operations further by building a state-of-the-art, GMP-certified processing facility, conveniently situated just a few blocks from our current hemp processing facility. This expansion reflects our unwavering commitment to meeting the growing demand for high-quality cannabis-derived products in Alabama and beyond. Safety is our paramount concern. Our impeccable record of safety and compliance in our current operations underscores our unwavering commitment to upholding the highest standards of quality and safety. We have implemented a rigorous quality control program that ensures all our products adhere to the necessary safety criteria and batch testing by sending our products to a DEA-certified testing facility. At Green Acres, our journey began in 2019 under the leadership of Carmelo Parsaliti, who held a steadfast belief of providing access to affordable, high-quality cannabis products. Throughout the company's development, Carmelo has carefully assembled a team of highly qualified individuals whose contributions have been instrumental to our success. Our team includes Logan Hester, who brings over 10 years of industry experience with integrated chemical, mechanical, and electrical engineering projects for equipment design, operation, and quality control. Logan received a Bachelor's of Science degree in chemical engineering from the University of Alabama and a minor in business administration. Logan's professional background includes international work in the offshore drilling industry and more recently in the aerospace industry, working on engineering design of cryogenic piping systems for rocket launch pads for some of the leading aerospace companies in the industry. Logan has developed custom extraction equipment in-house, including a falling film evaporator system, and plans to continue developing equipment that will be manufactured here in North Alabama. Lori Glouser is an accomplished co-author of the Medical Marijuana Desk Reference. She plays a pivotal role within the Green Acres team. Her distinguished career has seen her actively involved in the establishment of numerous medical dispensaries, processing facilities, and labs across the United States and Germany. Lori's unparalleled experience in the medical applications of cannabis is a cornerstone of our capabilities. With Lori's invaluable involvement, we are better equipped to navigate the intricate medical dimensions of the industry, ensuring that our products consistently meet the highest medical standards. Her endorsement of our company serves as a testament to our unwavering dedication to the quality and the well-being of Alabamians. Andrew Shaner brings an array of expertise with his background in environmental engineering. His academic background involves lecturing and plant physiology consulting, emphasizing his ability to develop practical solutions. With a Master's of Science in Biological Sciences, he taught as a lecturer at UNA. Additionally, his academic background involves lecturing in plant physiology, consulting, emphasizing his ability to develop practical solutions. With a robust professional and academic foundation, Andrew's hands-on experience managing one of the largest steel mills in America makes him a great addition to our team and will be instrumental in our ongoing success. Green Acres is poised to make a significant impact on Florence, Alabama, through the establishment of a state-of-the-art medical cannabis processing facility. Over the next 5 years, the facility is set to generate well over 30 jobs, contributing to the local employment and economic growth. Green Acres is positioned to be a reliable supplier for state-licensed dispensaries by offering a diverse range of approved cannabis products and providing white labeling services. Furthermore, the facility extends its value to cultivators, offering processing services on behalf of farmers or directly purchasing cannabis crops. This strategic collaboration aims to streamline the production and sale of medical cannabis, fostering mutually beneficial relationships within the industry. Green Acres stands as a pillar for responsible, legal, and community-focused cannabis production and education, positioning Florence as a hub for the up-and-coming medical cannabis industry in Alabama. We are humbled by the positive feedback we've received from our community. We received nearly 50 comments during the first commenting period, giving testimony after testimony about how our products significantly increased Alabamians' quality of life. Green Acres is ready to take on the responsibility of providing high-quality medical cannabis quickly, efficiently, and affordably to Alabama. With our capabilities, proven track record, and expert endorsements, and strong community support, we are well prepared to deliver safe and effective medical cannabis products. We humbly request your consideration for the medical cannabis processing license, and we are committed to making a positive impact on the lives of Alabamians. Thank you for your time and attention.
You can just hit pause if you'd like. I think it's just some comments that you probably have already seen from the commenting period. I wanted to address a few things on the business license and local authorization. In the notes and the comments, it talked about no supporting documents. We actually went to the last session in December of last year because the laws that were passed by, the city ordinances that were passed in November were only for medical dispensaries. We went and worked with our mayor and our local board to change that to encompass all medical licenses, which we included on the application. Our personnel, there were some notes talking only 2 employees to handle the whole manufacturing area. That was just a note on our application when we had 5 listed. So I'm wondering if there was maybe just, looking at different papers that was not our application. This is Lori Glouser. I wanted her to touch base on our employee handbook, our quality control, and our quality assurance plan. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, and thank you for your time. Yes, so in regards to the application and the initial round of scoring, we did notice some interesting anomalies that led us to wonder if the attachments, including the employee handbook, including some of perhaps the resumes, some of the other materials that needed to be attached were not considered as part of scoring. So those are something we considered. It was very surprising to us. We lost a lot of points from that. But I wanted to just take a moment as well to just say that my collaboration with Carmelo is really driven by his meticulous approach to using organic materials and also providing affordable full-spectrum products to patients throughout Alabama. I mean, I'm personally, after having been in the cannabis industry since 2013, after a career as a management consultant in the energy business, I myself had a bout with cancer, and I learned firsthand in California what the beneficial effects are of these products. And so because of that, I have a personal connection. I have a personal connection to the Shoals area. And when I met with Carmelo, I was just so pleased to be able to work with him. I get to choose who I work with. My most recent clients were in Germany and Switzerland, where I've been standing up operations, but I choose to work here and work with Carmelo because I really believe in his products and his commitment. And his authenticity, to be frank. So with that, did I miss anything, Carmelo?
I think that's it.
All right.
Yeah. 9 minutes left. If you guys would like to ask.
You can take a lot of questions.
Let's go.
All right. Do any of our commission members have any questions for the Green Acres Organic Farms?
I believe I know the answer to it, but are you associated or working with any state or companies that are doing work with medical or recreational cannabis in other states?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, Commissioner Hatchett. Anyone else? Ms. Skelton.
Thank you for your presentation today.
Thanks for having me.
Do you still need, you think, 220 days to commence operations?
Considering in the past year we've made some substantial purchases just for our hemp division, soft gel encapsulation units, full gummy line, full kitchen. I think that would be definitely cut down. I think if we had 120 days, we would be able to be operational. So, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Skelton. Anyone?
Along those
Dr. Jensen.
lines, you're having to build a new building, right?
Correct.
And you think that's going to happen that quick?
Well, we have leases in place. We have builders in place. We have the property already secured. We have all of the equipment to process this. Most of our equipment we're going to move over into our medical division. We also have a engineer on staff that can help us produce some of the, in my opinion, some of the greatest extraction equipment in the country. So I don't think throwing up a building on our property and our security measures would be an issue.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jensen. Anyone else? Any of our Zoom Commission members have a question before Carmelo adjourns?
This is Dwight Gamble.
Yes, Dwight, go ahead.
What extraction process do you use?
So we have multiple extraction methods. We have, like we just mentioned, we have closed loop hydrocarbon extraction where we use isobutane, lab-grade isobutane. We have a ethanol extraction machine, which is a falling film evaporator built by Logan Hester. We also have a solventless extraction method, basically using a press and heat. We stay away from CO2 extraction. That's a supercritical 500 PSI plus bomb you're dealing with. People try to, oh no, butane's very flammable, but if you have the right procedures in place, it's just as safe as all the others. So we have multiple means of extraction, and we've currently been extracting the past 4 years.
All right, thank you. Tell me about your financial plan.
Financial plan, we have about $700,000 raised through a few different investors. I'm sole owner in the company. I own 100% of the shares. We have a great community of people in place to help us with our project, but I think our application and our financials kind of speak for itself. Is there any specific questions I can dig into for you?
No, I was just curious about, these applications begin to run together sometimes.
Sure.
And
Sure.
just overall, your total, what you project your cost will be to get started, and then what you project your pro forma revenue will be over a 3-year period, and then how you plan to fund that.
Right, right. You know, pro formas and all that is great, but those are basically, what are we doing? We're making guesses about what the future is going to be. We have processes in place to make this happen. We have lease agreements, we have the property, we have the finances in place to cover those bills plus the first couple years of operation, and we plan to use, you know, Green Acres Organic Farms Incorporated we already have a business running. We already have a revenue coming in, so I think we've already created a successful business to help push that on into medical.
Mr. Gamble's a banker, so it means a lot to him.
My favorite.
There you go. Anyone else have a question? Thank you, Dwight. Anyone else have a question for Carmelo or Lori? Any of our Zoom commission members have anything to add? Well, Carmelo and Lori, thank y'all for coming today and representing your company and what you have in mind if you get a license. So thank you so much for giving us your time today. We appreciate it. We're running about 13 minutes ahead of time for when we had planned for 1819 labs. Are you here? 1819 labs. If y'all want to go ahead and make your presentation, if you'd like to, we can go ahead and prepare to do that. As you're making your way to the podium, Mr. Justin A. Day will have a couple of comments pertaining to your application for the benefit of our commission members. Justin?
Okay, this is applicant number 1694, 18 Labs LLC. You have their full application, their applicant summary, and there were no pass-fail items noted.
Thank you, Justin. I guess we have Donnie Calhoun, Farzana Kennedy, and Deontay Gordon.
Yes, sir.
Well, good to have y'all here. So watch the computer here, and Ms. Peters will have your time allotment in front of you. So you're welcome to take up the whole 20 minutes. Since we're kind of running ahead, you get the benefit of it.
Great. We appreciate that.
So you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And members of the commission, we really appreciate the opportunity to be here this afternoon and tell you a little bit about our company. First, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Donnie Calhoun. I'm a community pharmacist. My wife Cindy and I own a compounding pharmacy in Anniston, Alabama. I graduated from Sanford College of Pharmacy, McWhorter School of Pharmacy, and also my previous degree was a Bachelor's of Science from Troy State University. I was born and raised right here in Alabama, and I've lived here my entire life. And ever since I became a pharmacist, you know, my number one goal is taking care of people. That's what I've always done. With me today is Farzana Kennedy, who is also a pharmacist. And Farzana has a master's degree in medical cannabinoid science and therapeutics. And also Deontay Gordon. Deontay attended Auburn University, and he's CEO of Tech Birmingham. He also serves as a board member for the Innovation Depot, which is a business incubator located in Birmingham. And he's also a board member of the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. So we really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about our company today. As I said earlier, we are founded and based in Alabama. We are an applicant for a processor license. We are minority owned and operated. What's really unique about us is over 80% of our company is owned by current Alabama residents. And of course, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a little overview of our objectives, our company mission, our team outline, our process review, our facility design, and we're going to try to go over that and leave you guys a few minutes because we know you've had a long, long day. So the most important thing we want you guys to know about this slide is that we appreciate that the commission required good quality practices. And to me, as a pharmacist, the most important thing is that you required pharmaceutical grade products. And for those of you that may not know what that means, I want to give you a definition from the FDA. It's a product or a substance that the FDA has approved for human or animal consumption that meets stringent purity standards. And as a compounding pharmacist, that's what we strive for each and every day when we make those unique dosage forms for our patients. So this slide, we want to talk about what we feel like is most important for our company, is our people. Our people enable us to execute on the details that's going to allow us, to achieve the goals and results that our company puts forth for our patients. Processes are going to ensure consistent product results that meets established standards of the industry. We're going to have products that are developed, formulated, tested under pharmaceutical grade standards to be safe, consistent, and effective. Our property's been designed to support and supplement pharmaceutical processes and procedures to ensure that our standards are met. And all of this leads to the most important part, is our patients, which is the mission of our company. Our goal is to be the leading provider of safe, effective, consistent medical cannabis products to the qualified patients here in Alabama. This next slide is going to show you a little bit about where our people on our team come from. So as you can see, our ownership team is based across the entire state of Alabama. We have 14 local owners with Alabama residency, over 300 plus years in cumulative residency across our team. Our team works with patients each and every day here in Alabama. We have over 150 plus years in cumulative pharmacology and pharmaceutical science and experience within our team. And as you can see from this, our team members go all the way from Decatur to Dauphin Island. So our experience, we come from a variety of affiliated industries: healthcare, medicine, manufacturing, compounding pharmacy. You can see that right there. Some of the things we want to really highlight, a lot of our C-suite team members come from the pharmaceutical manufacturing world. GlaxoSmithKline, and also Oxford Pharmaceuticals, which is one of the major pharmaceutical companies located right here in Alabama. Our team also has medical cannabis experience in over 10 plus states, and we feel like it's really important to highlight our team members who come from law enforcement. We have team members from the Birmingham Police Department, Sheriff's Department, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. And why is this important? Because we realize this is a restricted drug. From a pharmacist perspective, we are talking about a drug that a patient is going to take, and we're going to take that very seriously, just like the DEA takes all the other controlled substances seriously. So at this time, I want to ask Farzana to come up and talk about our processes and our procedures.
Thank you, Donnie, for that, going through the first few slides. I'm going to talk a little bit about processes as far as 1819 lab is considered. So there's a couple things. First, I like to express my thank you to the Commission for considering pharmaceutical grade cannabis products, because that's so important, and Donnie has emphasized that. As pharmacists, we come from pharmaceutical grade products, especially as a compounder, making products in our pharmacies under the United States Pharmacopoeia. So we're used to coming from a highly regulated industry. So our plan and procedures are based on the manufacturing of pharmaceutical grade products compliant with CGMP standards. Our tried and proven standard operating procedures are ready for implementation soon as we are operational. I'm going to take you through the process, products, and our facility. So let's see. Okay, that's process. So like Donnie said, our process is, like I mentioned, and he said it also, that our processor is designed according to the CGMP regulations. So current good manufacturing practice will provide 1819 labs systems that will assure proper design, monitoring, and control manufacturing processes and facility. Our team has extensive expertise, and he has brought those to your attention earlier. So we have identified essential elements to achieve our control manufacturing operations by having strong quality management systems. We believe that is the keystone of our operation. Obtaining appropriate quality raw materials from our partnered cultivators or integrated facilities that are licensed and operating in the state of Alabama by AMCC. Our robust operating procedures that is already in place, detecting and investigating product quality deviations, that's for our testing and so forth, and maintaining relationships with third-party reliable testing laboratories, along with our in-house testing prior to third-party testing so that we can prevent some of the issues that we might run into as manufacturers do. Our goal is to produce quality medical cannabis products for patients of Alabama. We know that adhering to CGMP regulations, it will guarantee the identity, the strength, quality, and purity of medical cannabis drug products, as well as it will prevent contamination, mix-up, deviations, failures, and errors. 1819 Labs will ensure quality and safe cannabis products by making sure our facility is in good condition, equipments that are properly maintained and calibrated, employees who are qualified and fully trained, and processes that are reliable and reproducible. Our team is ready to implement comprehensive, modern quality systems and risk management approaches that exceed these minimum requirements and standards. I'm going to talk next into products. We also appreciate that the product requirements for medical cannabis in Alabama are based on pharmaceutical dosage form. This is our wheelhouse. We've been practicing pharmacy and compounding for years, and we have a great deal of experience in navigating that process. Our team having pharmacists, physicians, and experienced in pharmaceutical industries, such as we have pointed out earlier from our team member coming from the industry. We believe that cannabis is medicine, and patients and providers should have access to a variety of options. 1819 Labs is to offer a wide range of dosage forms with high purity pharmaceutical quality products to medical cannabis patients, such as tablets, capsules, suppositories, topical, etc., as pointed out in our application guide. Our nanotechnology method, which will provide further options for starting low and go slow dosing with enhancing precision medicine. With the goal of providing patients and most precise methods of manufacturing, we'll be providing patients with replicable and consistent therapeutic benefits based on pharmaceutical grade standard operating procedures. We have intended a few snapshots from our application for you of that standard operating procedure. And regarding the products that are included in our application. I know that excipients are a big part of making products. So we have an excipient, for those of you that may not be familiar with, it's just an inactive ingredient that require in making of a product. And examples would be fillers, coloring, flavors, etc. And 1819 Lab has secured a number of contracts with companies and opened up already existing relationship with some of the companies that are providing APIs, including active and inactive APIs in the States. So we have acquired some of the relationship to use in our medical cannabis production for 1819 Labs. And we have included them in this slide at the bottom. Our quality control plan and procedures include in-process internal testing to ensure proper CGMP compliance during processing and manufacturing of cannabis biomass and APIs. As a patient and quality-focused organization, we will provide an unparalleled level of medical-grade cannabis products through our deep understanding and experience in GMP and the use of most up-to-date technology. Our team with various expertise, including healthcare professionals, such as doctors and pharmacists, who are already serving patients in Alabama, organizations, and local communities, sets us ahead and apart from other cannabis operations. My last slide will be based on the facility. So we have gone over the facility a little bit with Donnie pointing out, but also we have included some snapshot from the application of site plans and layout of our security. And for the purposes of security issues, we're not going to go into the detail, but you have total access to it in our application. And it also shows from product flow to the compliance of cameras and so forth. And I'm just going to point out a couple different things here. As I mentioned before, our facility is designed according to CGMP guidelines. We have included a snapshot, like I said, with the drawings from product flow to security layout. When you look at our drawings, you will notice that we have separated out a few things. I wanted to point out the receiving and shipping bay. We have separated out the receiving and shipping bays based on the fact that cross-contaminations can be a major issue if you're using the same shipping and receiving bays, because not only that you're receiving cannabis products or going out, you'll be having multiple other elements coming into the operation. So cross-contamination is a big thing that we're trying to avoid. Also wanted to point out that because it's this CGMP-based air shower that we have created for the entry into the quality area for our employees, and also to point out our recall plans and quality control and all of that. And we have also created positive and negative pressure rooms for patient safeties as well as products. With that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Deontay.
Thank you, Farzana. To the commissioners, thank you again as well, because I have no earthly idea why you would take this up as a job. I'm sure you all have made a lot of friends in the process, but if I had to guess, you all would do it because of leadership and servant leadership at that. You all recognize what's at stake, and so I want to make sure that we acknowledge that. Obviously, we sent you all a lot of numbers, a lot of information and packets, and so I think it was important for us to also put names behind those numbers. So not just you all would know what will be done, but who will be doing it. If I could take a little bit of liberty to share additional details about my background. I don't come from a pharmaceutical background, but over the past 2 decades, I have done a lot in terms of economic development and community development. I've been in this role now as president and CEO of Tech Birmingham for 6 years in December. Our job is simple: make sure that we are recruiting companies and startups to this state, that we are giving them the resources that they need to grow and flourish, and that we are serving as the chief voice and advocacy arm for our technology and innovation ecosystem. Shortly after taking on that role, we attracted $4.1 million in the form of a grant to make sure that young women and girls had access to STEM careers. Shortly after that, probably the height of my professional career, I stood on stage with Tim Cook as we unveiled an initiative to create pathways for adult learners as well as those in school that attracted tens of millions of dollars. And I could go on and on and on. Before that, I was in economic development, working more so with Main Street businesses, not the large 500 person auto manufacturing plant, nothing of that nature. But those who had a dream of being a restaurateur, somebody who wanted to open a gift shop, a coffee shop, bookstore, whatever the case may be, but we worked to take them from concept to concrete. And then before that, it was technology as well, but more so on the technical side, creating business processes, helping companies have legacy systems, talk to new systems, things of that nature. But we've had tremendous impact for that. I lift that up because a lot of this is about the community. That's the lens that I bring. Obviously, we're talking about facilities and the location where that's going to be, and that is important. Obviously, what goes on inside it. Does it adhere to CGMP? Apologies. Is it in partnership with the community? And that's one of the things that I wanted to lift up. We have some of the, I call them the boring bullets, but they're the bullets that need to be said, because I want to make sure we're not setting the expectation that because we have these high aspirations, that we have these 3, 5, 10-year plans, that we've taken our eye off of the main ball, which is to make sure we're delivering something safe and efficacious, and that we're doing so by checking all of the boxes, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. Starting from the bottom, clearly you'll see that we've already done successful site assessments, including environmental impact assessments. Over 150,000 people live within a 30-minute drive. Again, that is important because that speaks to workforce development initiatives. And that's something, again, that I want to make sure that we lift up. We're going to talk about the pharmacological aspects of this, the safety, security, but there's also a community component as well. And so we want to make sure that we're developing workforce initiatives to engage with the community. One of the things that I clearly recognize in my work is that you can't do things to a community. You have to do things with the community. And so obviously we're presenting our plan right now, but we have all intentions to completely make sure the communities in which we operate, that they have access to career pathways into this. And of course, from the product standpoint, that they are being well served as well. Getting to the facility, 16,000 square feet, that is under our control. 8,000 square feet for expansion. We don't have to worry about what happens, but I do want to lift that up because we can meet early market demand. Obviously, this is a new industry and it's going to take time to reach cruising altitude, so to speak, but we've already projected 180 days. I believe that is in the material that you all have. But of course, recognizing that in some ways this is a moving target. But the important thing is that we have that facility and it already exists. So wanted to make sure that we lift that up. And of course, as you would expect, we have the support of the city council. We worked hand in hand in the form of a partnership with the local EDA authority in Calhoun County. Quickly going over some other details. I mentioned partnerships and that work that I did in the educational landscape. We built partnerships with a number of HBCUs, a number of 2-year, 4-year institutions. The team represented here and the team that you don't see have already sat down with a large number of industries, a large number of professors and faculty, staff, leadership at some of these institutions, not just for product partnerships, but also, again, in thinking about workforce and thinking about research. And that's something that kind of ties into the second point there, the educational programs. And we've talked some about educational programs for the patients. This is something new. We want to make sure that they have access to safe and effective information. But there's also an educational component for the medical community as well. And so we want to make sure that what it is that they're prescribing, why they're prescribing, that they feel empowered, that they can make the best recommendation based off of the latest science and information. Again, in terms of demonstrating proper capacity, we have gone well above and beyond, I believe, in securing $25 million for this project. So that far exceeds 3 years of operating capital as required. We've also developed business relationships, of course, across the value in the supply chain. Proof of insurance, again, some of the boring bullets, but it's worth pointing out. And of course, the website is all ready to go. Again, a lot of this being contingent upon us moving to the next step. I see that I am over the score report. I will just say that we were beneficial. We were fortunate to have the highest score both rounds. And obviously, I know there was a agreement made, and so those won't be considered, and that's completely fine. But I think it still speaks to the quality of our application. And so I'll just end by expressing our thanks again and our support for an objective, a fair, quantitative evaluation process, one that is done with subject matter experts under leadership and guidance, excuse me, from the AMCC, with the ultimate goal of providing pharmaceutical-grade products to the patients of Alabama. Thank you.
Thank you, Deontay. You did mention that our scoring is no longer being considered, that USA had done for us. So we'll just kind of keep that in mind, but we're all being mindful of that. And so we'll keep that in mind, but I'm glad that y'all recognize that that's where we are.
Absolutely.
So thank you. A great presentation. Do any of our commission members have a question for 1819 Labs?
Do y'all have any business partners or affiliates that are currently processing medical or recreational cannabis outside of the state of Alabama?
So no recreational, but we do have medical.
Okay. And in those facilities, have they had any sort of regulatory or compliance issues, revokes of licenses, fines, warnings?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else have a question for 1819 Labs? I've got one, it's kind of, I think earlier it was asked, y'all have a similar address of some of our other applicants. I guess it's the the Troy Street and Dothan address, is that like an agency or an attorney that y'all use for, okay, for licensing application? Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for clarifying that. Anybody else have a question? Any of our Zoom members have a question for 1819 Labs before we let them go?
Chairman,
Yes,
I
sir,
had a
Sam.
comment. Mr. Calhoun, I believe Mr. Calhoun was on the board of pharmacy back when I was in pharmacy school, so I just want that to be a comment. Thank him for his service. The other thing that I wanted to add, Mr. Calhoun, do you have any discussion regarding maybe pediatric dosage forms, how you would formulate that?
Yes, we do, and I'll let Farzana speak to that.
Yes, we have, and we have submitted actually our dosage forms, pretty extensive, form of products in the application package, and pediatric dosages measurable in those dosage forms. Yes.
Thank you.
So tinctures is what we have on the pediatric side.
Yeah, that's Dr. Sam Blakemore. He's our pharmacist, one of our commissioners here.
Yes.
On
Fellow
a-
colleagues, yes.
On a Zoom call. Did you get that, Anna? Sam, okay. Anybody else have a question before we adjourn? Do what? Do what? Justin, go ahead and make your comments. Go ahead.
We can dismiss. I think we're done.
Oh, are we done with them?
With them. If
Okay.
there's no others, yeah.
Thank y'all for coming. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you so
and
much for your time.
Thank you for addressing the commission. We appreciate that. Before we do, anybody else have any comments before we ask for an adjournment? Yes,
I'm
Justin.
going to just get on the record those that we did not hear from and make sure that we're clear as to what you have before you for those applicants who are still in consideration for license, but they did not make presentations. And I'll do that both for the secure transporters and the processors that we went through today. So the remaining ones that we have is applicant number 1614, Alabama Green Transport LLC, a secure transporter. You have their application. You have the applicant summary for them. They did have pass-fail show cause notice that was sent to them, and we did not receive a pass-fail show cause response, and that's noted in your materials. The next one is applicant number 1637, XLCR Inc., a secure transporter. You have their application, you have their applicant summary, and there were no pass-fail items noted in their application. The next one is applicant number 1657, Global Security Group, Inc., a secure transporter. You have their application and the applicant summary. They were sent a pass-fail show cause notice, and we did not receive their pass-fail show cause response, and that's noted in your materials. The next one is applicant number 1674, Harville Motor Company, Inc., a secure transporter. You have their application and the applicant summary. There were pass-fail items noted. They were sent a show cause notice, and they sent a show cause response, and that response is included in your materials. The next one is applicant number 1688, a secure International Communication LLC, a secure transporter. You have their application and their applicant summary, and they had no pass-fail items noted. Moving on to processors, applicant number 1646, Longleaf Extracts LLC, which was the one that was scheduled for earlier today. A processor. You have their application and their applicant summary, and there were no pass-fail items noted. Applicant number 1654, Arbor Vita Care, Inc. You have their application and their applicant summary report. There were no pass-fail items noted. Applicant 1680, Green Phoenix Holdings, LLC. They are a processor. You have their application, their applicant summary report. They did receive a pass-fail show cause notice and submitted a response to that, and that response is included in your material along with some additional supplemental information that they submitted with that. So with that, Mr. Chairman, that covers the processors and secure transporters.
Thank you, Justin. That's a long day, concludes a long day, but anyone else have a comment before we recess? I need a motion to recess until tomorrow morning at 8:30. Got a motion from Ms. Taylor Hatchett, a second from Ms. Lori Skelton. Any other discussion on that? We will be recessed until tomorrow morning at 8:30 and back here in this same room. Before you leave today, I need all of our commissioners to come back in the back and pick up a material or two for tomorrow. Thank you.